Now, we told you that the definition of grace means it's from the Greek word charis, which means favor, and it also means to be well off, and it also means graciousness. So we're going to skip, and we're going to read. We're going to read two more places, and we're going to close. So let's go to just kind of give you the brief synopsis. You all know that Joseph, one of the 12 sons, we had Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and we're not going to show you the grace that Isaac experienced. We're not going to deal with that. We're not going to even show you the grace that Jacob experienced. We're going to deal with that maybe in another session. But I want to go and skip forward to one of Jacob's 12 sons, whose name is Yosef, or the world calls Joseph, right? How his brothers, Joseph had the dream. You remember the dream he had, and how the sun and the moon and the stars bowed down to him, right? And worshiped him or served him, right? The brothers hated that. So they got together, they tag teamed together and said, we're going to kill him. Nah, we can't kill him. We're going to tell our father that he died, but we're going to sell him into slavery. Which is a foreshadow of the children of Israel being sold into slavery, right? So after all of that, the Pharaoh, you all know the story. Joseph went from the pit. How did this thing go? From the pit to the palace. Mm-hmm. From the pit to the prison to the palace. The 3 P's. Mm-hmm. From the pit to the prison to the palace, right? So he was elevated. And so when he was elevated, right? This is just a little something, a way to learn something. When he went, it was a famine all over the land of Egypt. All over the land of Canaan. And so his brothers and their father, Yaakov, was forced to go to Egypt to get victuals because Joseph had the ability to see things, right? He forecast the famine that was coming. And because of the Most High blessing him with the ability to see things, he was a seer in his own right. He told the Pharaoh, and it made the Pharaoh a great man because they stored up goods. So when the famine came, everybody was broke, busted, and disgusted. But the civilization of Egypt had food stored up. So while everybody needed food, everybody all over the known world had to come to Egypt to get food because they stored up food while it was years of plenty, years of great harvest, okay? So now Joseph is in Egypt, and his brothers come into Egypt to see him. Verse 1, Genesis 43, verse 1. The famine was sore in the land. Verse 2. And it came to pass, when they had eaten up the corn which they had brought out of Egypt, their father said unto them, go again, buy us a little food. Right? So they had to go to Egypt to get the food because it was a famine in the land. Right? Verse 3. And Yehudah spoke unto them, saying, the man did solemnly protest unto us, saying, you shall not see my face except your brother be with us. Okay, so now Yosef was the man who told them that he wanted to see their brother. Okay, so when they went back, he said, I want you to bring my brother. Right? Okay, let's continue. He says, verse 4, if thou wilt send our brother with us, we will go down and buy thee food. Verse 5, but if thou wilt not send him, we will not go down. For the man said unto us, you shall not see my face except your brother be with you. Verse 6, Israel said, wherefore dealt you so ill with me as to tell the man whether ye had yet a brother? That ought to tell him something right there. He know they had a brother. He didn't know nothing about him, right? Okay, they didn't catch that. All right, but anyway. And they said, the man asked us straightly out of our state and of our kindred, saying, is your father yet alive? Have you another brother? And we told him according to the tenure of these words. could we certainly know that he would say, bring your brother down? And Yehuda said unto Israel his father, send the lad with me, and we will arise and go, that we may live and not die, both we and thou, and also our little ones. Verse 9. And I will be surety for him of my hand, shalt thou require him, if I bring him not unto thee, and set him before thee, then let me bear the blame forever. Right? Verse 10. For except we had lingered, surely now we had returned this second time. Right? And the father Israel said unto them, if it must be so, now do this: take up the best fruits in the land in your vessel, and carry down the man a present, a little balm, and a little honey, and spices, and myrrh, and nuts, and almonds. These were healthy eating Israelites. They didn't have to go to Whole Foods to get it. And take double money in your hand, and money that was brought again in the mouth of your sacks, carried again in your hand. Peradventure it was an oversight. Okay. 13. Take also your brother, right, and arise, go again unto the man, and Yah Almighty give you mercy before the man. Now, here's another interesting. How would he know if there was no grace and mercy and grace go hand in hand, right? If the Most High didn't show any grace to anybody, okay? All right. And the men took, okay, at verse 14. That he may send away your other brother and Benjamin. Mm-hmm. If I be bereaved of my children, I am bereaved. Okay, verse 15. And the men took that present, and they took double money in their hand. They wasn't broke. And it took double money in their hand, and Benjamin, and rose up and went down into Egypt and stood before Yosef, or Joseph. And when Joseph saw Benjamin, Ben Amin means the son of the people, with them, he said to the ruler of his house, bring these men home, and slay and make ready, for these men shall dine with me at noon. Right? Verse 17. And the man did as Joseph bade, and the man brought the men into Joseph's house, and the men were afraid because they were brought into Joseph's house. Brothers, you got to hear. This is a Hebrew disguised as an Egyptian, and they were afraid, and they couldn't even tell that this man was a Hebrew. They was afraid. Okay. All right. And they came near to the steward of Joseph's house, and they communed with him at the door of the house, and said, "O sir, we came indeed down at first time to buy food." 21. And it came to pass, when we came to the end, that we opened our sacks, and behold, every man's money was in the mouth of the sack, our money in the full weight, and we brought it again in our hand. Verse 22. And the other money had we brought down in our hands to buy food. So they had money for lodging, and money for food, and money running over. Pressed down, shaking together, and running over. Right? Mm-hmm. And he said, peace be to you. Fear not, your Elohim and the Elohim of your fathers, right, have given you treasure in your sacks. I had your money, and he brought Simon out unto them, right? 24. And the man brought the men into Joseph's house and gave them water and they washed their feet, right, and gave their asses provender. Okay, they gave their asses provender. The only time you can cuss. I'm just kidding. 25. And they made ready the present against Yosef, came at noon, and for they heard that they should eat bread there. 26. And when Yosef came home, they brought him the present which was in their hand in the house, and bowed themselves to him in the earth. And he asked them of their welfare, and he said, Is your father well? And the old man of whom you spoke, is he yet alive? Verse 28. And they answered, Thy servant, our father, is in good health. He is yet alive. And they bowed down their heads and made obeisance, right? And he lifted up his eyes and saw his brother Ben-Amin, his mother's son. And he said, Is this your younger brother, of whom he spoke unto me? And he said, Elohim be gracious unto thee, my son. And Yosef made haste, for his bowels did yearn upon his brother, and he sought where to weep, and he entered into the chamber and wept there, and washed his face, and went out and refrained himself, and set on bread, and there set on for him by himself, and for them by themselves, and for the Egyptians, and which did eat with him by themselves, because the Egyptians might not eat bread with the Hebrews. For this is an abomination unto the Egyptians. And they sat before him, the firstborn according to his birthright, and the youngest and according to the youth. And the men marveled one at another. And he took and sent messages unto them from before him. But Ben-Amin's mess was 5 times so much as any of theirs. And they drank and were merry with him. So what we see is that all of the wealth, when Yosef, who left them, right, or was sold to slavery, grew up in Egypt and became a great ruler, when he saw the wealth of Israel, of his brothers and sisters, his fathers, what did he say? Yah is gracious. He called the wealth that they had the graciousness, or the grace of Yah. So we're seeing grace all the way through this book, and we're just touching, we're just skin tough touching the surface.